All right. Okay. We're doing this again. So, yeah. So I'm trying this new setup. Like, I keep moving around because usually I sit at my desk when we do these. But last week, Martin Rosberg was here with me and we sat on the couch and it felt different. Like, I felt more comfortable. I could relax a little more because when I'm at my desk, it feels like I'm still like in my work mode. And even though this is technically work, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Last time it was great. You look
Yeah, like
so
it just
relaxed and comfortable.
yeah, I just feel more relaxed and
Yeah,
good.
I
But it's
support.
like, yeah, you support it, but I need to find the right way to sit and
You,
like the way
you
to look at the camera and where to put the microphone. Like it's on a stack of books. Everything's all fucked up right now, but
Just relax.
yeah,
Relax your
maybe
back.
I just have to yeah, play with it. All right, but here we are. So
Hi,
Stephanie,
Stephanie.
Hi, guys.
Good to
uh,
see you.
Same, likewise.
you look hot, like because of the weather outside.
Oh my God, I thought you said that I look hot.
Well,
That's
you do look hot, like yeah, you look hot, like with the
crazy.
blonde hair.
That means from you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You need to be
But I mean like the humidity hot
hot.
right now is just like
It was like,
like
seriously, Nick is
it's
saying that?
Oh yeah.
but
I,
it's like fucking crazy outside right now. Just like I was outside 10 minutes ago just for a second. It was like I felt like I burnt myself just
yeah,
like walking three
it's
steps.
okay, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you think that I'm hot.
Love it.
It's the
Love
hair.
it.
It's the new
It's the
hair.
hair. It's the
Yeah.
hair. I mean, just for disclosure, we don't have more fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I did this to myself. I burned my hair, just trying to figure it out. If after owning a business, maybe I can have more fun. But no, it's bullshit. You don't have more fun as a blonde.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
going to ask you, how do you feel?
How I feel like I've been a person that I never. I mean 10 years ago, I used to work a lot of makeup. For some reason, no anymore. I don't put makeup. I don't do my hair. So it feels like a huge responsibility. You know what I mean? Because now you have to take care of a lot of hair. So it's
Hmm.
like I was just trying to try something different to feel better, and I just adding more responsibility in a situation when I don't need more responsibility. I have enough.
Uh, okay. And you just have to wait then until.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the most beautiful things about human beings is that we can transform our reality constantly. We can change so many different things. We can, discomfort teach you a lot. So actually, my blonde is teaching me a lot. So it's like you say, it grows, it can change everything. That's the beauty of life. You
Mhm.
can change, I mean, something doesn't work out, you can change it, you can transform it. So I think that that's part of the whole higher thing too.
Yeah, it is. Good.
So, Stephanie, when I first interviewed you, it was like I think you were one of like the first episodes
Yeah.
of, and it was still like very much pandemic, right? Like it was still if most a lot of things were still shut down everywhere. Everyone was still masked up and everything. And you were doing like a pop up in the Catskills for like a month, was
Three
it?
months.
Okay, 3 months. Yeah, the whole summer basically. The summer of COVID, and and it was great because people
Yeah.
were going to the Catskills and it was fresh air outside and all that. And but then you were like thinking ahead when COVID ended, you were going to open a restaurant, and like you after the summer ended and like COVID kind of relaxed, you started looking for spaces a little bit, right? And like playing around with the idea of what would a you know my restaurant look like in Brooklyn, but you never like committed to anything for a long time. Why not?
So I mean, I think as I said, it's been a process. When we met, I was like cooking in the most like secluded area, the less diverse community ever. And I mean, it was kind of like the first opportunity for me as myself, because one of the things that I went to culinary school. I did my stay year an internship in Cosme, and after that, I just went by my own. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I just like I was just questioning, like in reality, what I really, really want to do with these new tools, with this knowledge, what I was my place in the world,
Hmm.
in the culinary world. And for some reason, I never like, the restaurant model, as if it never felt like comfortable to me.
Hmm.
And then I was given the opportunity, to do this residency and cook whatever I wanted. I was like a frying fish, making shrimp cocktail, like doing
Hmm.
chicharrón, stuff like that. And it was, I'm making pandebono. So it was a really exciting opportunity to see if my concept, at the end of the day, I don't call them my concept.
Hmm.
Everything that I do is an extension of who I am, my personality, and I just want to try to bring that and share that with people. So I mean, it was really successful at that moment, because if you see like a big families of like people from the Catskills like coming and questioning if we can debone the fish, and I was,
Hmm.
no, just be careful, we're not deboning fish.
Yeah.
um and then it was kind of like it gave me the boost, that I really needed, to being able, if I can lead, if I can take care of a kitchen, because, or
Hmm.
even I can own a business, because that's something, two different things. One thing is to work with somebody, you do your probably a lot of hours, and now you pass to the other side when you have all the commitments. You have to be like, now I understand when my colleague said that every day you are like dealing with fire,
Hmm.
and and also the challenge of like being working with my partner as well, my husband, and being partners in so many different capacities. So it was a process. When I just came back, I went to Spain to study, and then I came doing pop-ups, and then realizing that when I started, that nobody was doing pop-ups. And at the end of the day, what I was just doing is doing exactly what many women that have mentored me in Colombia are doing, opening their house,
Hmm.
selling their food,
Mm.
creating better opportunities for them and their families, hustling with that, and doing in certain levels of informality and surviving.
Hmm.
So even in the country of regulations, I just like do it, because I grew up and I came from a place where actually women do that in different capacities. And then that's what speaks to me, have kind of like a more like a close interaction, give a different kind of hospitality, where I felt that sometimes in a restaurant setup it can be really cold and different, or
Hmm.
super, the kitchen is completely separated from the people, and you have a front of the house team that is actually representing you and doing everything for you. So this time for me was just trying to figure it out, what I really want to do, what I feel comfortable, because I'm a person that I'm super easy to get bored, and I
Hmm.
move on of things really fast. If I don't feel comfortable, I will move on. I will do different things. So I want to make sure that this is what I really, really wanted to do. And I think that the opportunity came out to me because at the beginning I tried to partner with somebody. It didn't work out. And one of the reasons is because I was self-conscious. I
Hmm.
thought that I need somebody with a lot of experience to materialize what I can do. And then it took some time to realize like I can do it by myself.
Hmm.
I have a beautiful support system. I have a beautiful community. I mean, it's just about finding the right tools to create the vision. And that's where I'm right now. So if I answering your question, everything was a process, like the hair, like everything in life. You're starting a point, you fucked up many times, you burn bridges, you learn, you fail, you stand up until you find a place that you feel comfortable. And even though having a place, I still like really uncomfortable and trying to, this is a word that I don't know how to pronounce, and I say it so much, and it's pivot, or I don't know. You guys help
Pivot. Pivot.
pivot the
Yeah.
situation. So this is like basically what it is. So if that
How did
answers,
you decide about the location? How that conversation happened?
so it's a beautiful story because we are located inside a store called This is Latin America, and I was looking for, like, first of all, a business model. So
Mm.
I don't want to own a restaurant. I don't even want it to sell alcohol. So it's like when you put everything on and I mean, my husband is the one that does operations numbers, the introvert, the
Mm.
operation person, which I'm really lucky and grateful to have that role because I suck at that. Um, is first of all to put everything in numbers and do everything backwards. So, okay, New York City, rent, insurance, all this different stuff. What I really wanted to do, I want to host dinners. I want to, I want to be able to collaborate with different chefs. So let's find an operations that actually can pay for the fixed costs.
Mhm.
So we were okay. Let's open a coffee shop with like a with a simple menu, and at night we do our pop up dinners. Okay, where is gonna be that location? We look for different places, and then when you talk to a landlord and you show your financials based on pop ups, private chef, and different things, the guy that I selling the really horrible like whatever, but I have already 5 locations is gonna win over me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was the first challenge. I mean, to find somebody that actually thinks that a model that is kind of newish,
Yeah.
it work. And that's what we've been doing. Like, so I was walking in Williamsburg. At that moment, I was taking a break of La TropiKitchen. I was just like, I really want to figure it out. What was the next step? If I was comfortable in what I was doing, if it makes sense. And I remember getting a job. I mean, in such a long time, I got my first like job where I have to go to a kitchen, do events, and operate in a big scale, because I said, okay, if I'm gonna take a hold of that, I'm gonna go to a place where I'm gonna learn a skill that I really, really need to take my business next level. Okay, catering, luxury, big scale.
Mhm.
I sold myself to the demon, but sometimes you have to do it. So, and then I was just saving money to go to Southeast Asia to find myself, to take this trip that I did. I traveled for 3 months, and that's another story. Um, and then I remember walking, like I was super sad. I mean, it's really important also to talk about mental health. I was depressed. I cry every morning. I was questioning what I was doing for I don't know how many times in my life I've been in that moment of nothingness.
Mhm.
For people that are listening to me right now, embrace that moment of nothingness, because that's a possibility of everything. Those are the moments of expansion. Those are the moments where you question yourself and you figure out things. And sometimes people don't see it that way. I see it that way. So I was walking in Williamsburg, and I remember getting inside of like a coffee shop. This really cool bro from Williamsburg, I do skate, I run marathons, but I first of all I light a cigarette before I run the marathon. I'm so fucking cool. That guy. You know what I mean? So he was in his store. He have a coffee shop, but he have a workshop downstairs. So he was making clothes. And it was like, oh, this is a really interesting business model. He's not putting the eggs in just one basket.
Mhm.
So he have a showroom, he have his studio, and he sell coffee. So and then my friend Ernesto, Zulu, and Justin were, I mean, I was with Ernesto and Zulu, and then Justin, that this is my white friend, wanna be Mexican, beautiful, queer, creative soul. He says something like, hey, there is a store right there where they're selling comales. And I was Justin, don't take me to another store of a white guy selling Mexican stuff like a overpriced in Williamsburg. I don't want to see that. No, but do it. They have a beautiful altar, because it was the date of the dead. I will lie to you that I don't want to go. But then Ernesto, my friend, said, yeah, no, let's go to see it. We cross the street, and the first thing that I see is Miguel with these beautiful braids, with this beautiful altar.
Uh,
And then, oh my God, you guys want some tamales? You want welcome to This is Latin America. And I saw the beautiful art craft, and I was like, where I am. You know what I mean? So the way I will never forget the way that made me feel. They made me feel like
Mm.
how hospitality should be. Is like in the way that it's not just about selling something; it's about creating community,
mhm.
which is really, really important, especially when you are a migrant in a place where you actually don't belong anywhere. And I said this so much. So the way that you feel in a place where you feel welcome, that you feel that at least people speak their same language and you understand. So I will never forget the day. And then I just start talking, and they say, we have this project. We want to have this coffee shop and traditional Colombian Mexican
Mhm.
cuisine in the back. And and we want to have like guest chef. So, and then I introduced myself and they said, oh, we've been following you, blah, 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 blah. So the conversation started there. I bought like a bunch of stuff for them for my catering business. And then I went to Southeast Asia. And then when I came back, I was like, what happened with these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then they were trying to build a kitchen, but they didn't know what they were doing. So I started getting to know them. Now I take my time to know people. Before I was, everyone is my friend. I love you. Let's collaborate. No, now I take my time to get to know people, to people to get to know me, because I can be a lot too. And I took my time. I get to know them and whatever. And then we start brainstorming, launch our story, Patio Tropical burns. So I jumped then to help to build the kitchen, and then we start like creating the concept together. And now we have a beautiful tropical patio in the heart of Williamsburg. And actually, Nicholas can tell you it's pretty tropical. You're there and you're sweating.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine today. Well, you're close today, right? Like it would be.
Yeah, we're close today,
Yeah.
but also
Yeah. No, it's hot. It's hot back there. But you know, it's the time of the year. But what I really appreciate about Patio Tropical is, as someone who lived in North Brooklyn for 12 years until I moved up here, like so many restaurants just come in like from Manhattan or wherever, just somebody, you know, opening something, and they don't try to fit in with the neighborhood whatsoever. They just try to impose whatever idea they have on this place, and it totally, you know, is like destroys the fucking character of the neighborhood sometimes. And like even just like around the corner from your place, there's a fucking Swedish candy shop that looks like it's fucking like $100 for a jar of Swedish fucking candy in Puerto Rican Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It's like, who the fuck is this for? Like, who is buying that shit? And
tourists.
like yeah, but it's just weird, and it's just like, why would you open that there? Like, and I think New York does a bad job of, you know, preserving character of neighborhoods. And like, and I saw that like living in Greenpoint for 12 years. Just when I got there, it was this, you know, Polish kind of industrial neighborhood that just all of a sudden gentrified, and everyone I knew, you know, eventually moved out. We all got like pushed out eventually. It was too fucking expensive. And there was no feeling of, you know, restaurants or cafes or coming in for the community. It was like, it was always these like developers pushing shit all the time, and, you know, just like causing the rents to rise. And yeah, it was nice to have a, you know, sometimes the hipster coffee shop down the street or whatever that opened up, and suddenly you can get good coffee. But did you need fucking 30 of them in like
Yeah.
in 3 blocks? You know, and it just became this like this boilerplate yoga coffee shop tattoo parlor thing that, I don't know. And
Into
it just
shop.
like, it lost all character of all the fucking gritty bodegas and whatever. And not to say like all of those things were perfect, but they were real and they were serving people. But what I like about Patio Tropical, is the point I'm getting to, is that, you know, local people are going to eat there. You know, as I sat there for, you know, a couple of hours, there were people coming in the whole time, you know, locals that have lived on the street for, you know, this very Puerto Rican street in Williamsburg, not these like sudden, you know, faux hipsters that work at a bank. It's, you know, people that have lived on the street forever, and they're coming in and they're hugging you and you're hugging them, and they know you. You've been there a few months, but it seems like you've known them for, you know, decades at this point, at least from the attitude I could feel. And that's great. And I feel like that's real New York. It's not this like manufactured gentrification shit that just like seems to be like what's going on in a lot of the city right now. It's like, it felt real, and it felt like it fit in, and the people on the street were eating there. They wanted the things that you were serving, not because they know about necessarily, what like an arepa in Guajira is like, but they get this sense of, like it's still familiar to them, even though it is this very different, type of food.
It's the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And it's really important that you said that because sometimes for me, I've been having many of my identity crises, and the most recent one is questioning my heritage. As a person from Barranquilla, Colombia, I felt more than a Colombian person. I feel a Caribbean being. I always say that I'm from La República del Caribe, libre, independiente y mágica. Understanding the Caribbean was a huge, like huge. It was the cosmopolitan of like all this. Everything arrived there. Everything happened, and that it was also influencing the food that we eat, in our food ways, in our culture, in our music. Everything is such a rich territory. So as you said, we are in Grand Street in the Sures of Williamsburg, and it's really important to understand that it's a huge Puerto Rican diaspora down there that are being like living there, and so many of them is still there, and many of them are like cohabitating with the fact of a gentrified neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the really important things for us, as everything in life, is understanding where we are, we came from, and where we and where we're trying to go. And just like a few business around there is the Caribbean Social Club, where it's like a woman called Toñita, a matrona. I mean, like, I mean, for me, it's surreal that I'm living in New York and I can find in my own community something that I've been looking for in every single travel that I do abroad. That really strong woman that is supporting her community, that is helping others, is feeding people, is creating better opportunities for her and people around her. That's what we call a matrona. And not everyone is a matrona. I mean, for you to become a matrona, you have to be somebody respected by your community, creating, I mean, the same thing that I already said. So we have 3 blocks away, Toñita, we just celebrated her. She is being mentioned in Bad Bunny songs. Politicians goes to her, and I've seen that woman kick out people of her business.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
are you out? Like 80 something. I don't know how old is Toñita, but Toñita is already old lady. So that being said, I feel flattered to be there and to be exposed of a woman that at the end of the day, if I tell you the truth, you can ask so many female chefs, like, oh, who you want to be? Who are you looking after? Oh, Dominic Creme. I want to be Toñita.
Yeah.
It's like no brainer.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but that's feels like real. You know what I
It
mean?
feels
Like,
real.
That's a
yeah.
good summary of
And
it.
then, yeah, and then like people, like, one of the really important things to us as a business is being inclusive. It's tough because we are in Williamsburg, tough rents, tough crew,
Yeah.
everything, and I need to be. I mean, right now, like, now I understand more than anybody that I'm running a business.
Hmm.
And it's not just like, oh, how beautiful will be. Oh, I want to be
Mm.
inclusive. I want to donate. I want to, yes, that's beautiful. But now it's real shit gets real. I run a business and I need to make a business work. But so how is the challenge? How can we be inclusive? You saw Doña Lucy. We have
Mhm.
Doña Lucy. We even make a drink
Yeah.
after her because this is a woman that she comes. I mean, she doesn't, she's like me. I mean, for her, it's really hard to have female friends. So she gets along better with men. So she's the one that I made the tintons and the food to the guys that I place dominoes next to my business. And that's the real Caribbean Social Club. It's kind of like hidden.
Mhm.
And she goes there, and Doña Lucy has his red hair, and she comes to us, and she give me protection necklace, and bring us food and everything. And then we have Don Angel that comes all the time. But also we have Magic Mike, the magician of the neighborhood, the cool kid. We have the actor for
Yeah.
Netflix. We have the
Yeah.
girl that are the pregnant ladies that now I see them with the stroller. So like that means that we're doing something that people are connecting with at the end of the day. And that's what I call inclusivity, that we have from Doña Lucy buying us coffee from Magic Mike bringing his friends because he found a new cool spot in Williamsburg, and all these different people. And at the end of the day, the people from my own country, they're like a small percentage of the people that patronize my business. They still
Mm.
coming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, people are not coming to us because what kind of food that we are serving.
Hmm.
People are coming to us for what we have to offer to the neighborhood, and they want to support us, and that sense of community that we're building.
How
And
have you gotten that feedback apart from obviously people going and expressing? How do they? How do you get a sense of that? What do they say? Or
I mean, we are not making, I mean, Nicholas already went there. Like, we are making food, nurturing food, healthy
Mm.
food. In no healthy in that way. No, we're doing clean ingredients. We're sourcing for the
Yeah.
farmers market.
Yeah,
We are
real.
working. We are like our chorizo is made by a Serbian butcher that we are been working in this formulation for
Yeah.
many
Let's
years. And
talk about that. That
okay,
chorizo, because that's like amazing, and it's like
okay,
it seems
oh,
like it's straight out of Colombia, like, but it's
Mhm.
absolutely.
totally not.
And that's it. So we are like educating people about what Caribbean Colombian food it is, who we are, our music,
Yeah.
our experience. We don't serve tables,
Yeah.
and we don't have a waitress. We have a POS system. You order for them, you grab your own stuff, so it's different.
Mm.
So if you go to my Patio Tropical, that I don't even like to call them my restaurant, it's just my patio, my house, my kitchen. You will be taken care by me or Miguel from my kitchen. We're gonna judge your name. We're gonna ask about your pet, everything. We are
Like,
not
wait,
serving tables. I mean,
you're gonna
sometimes
ask about the pet? What do you mean? Like,
oh, I know that the dogs, Mocha, Chipita, Sophie. I know people by, I don't remember anybody's name, but I know the name of the dog
okay.
always.
So what do you say? Like, Sophie's mother,
Or how is
your
Sophie
arepa
doing?
is ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I Sophie needs some water. Can I give
Okay.
Sophie a huesito? And they loved it. So it's kind of like the kind of thing. Like I mean, I even have. I mean, I have this crew of guys that I call them the Coachella kids. They came with their Coachella things. Oh, the Coachella kids are here. Are you guys head over? Yes, sancocho. I mean, and also our sancocho, it doesn't call sancocho, it's Saint Cocho. That's the name of the dish. Because it's the cure of the hangover. So it's how we and the sancocho that we serve, we cook it as a pho with all the nutritional things,
Hmm.
extracting flavors and everything. You quita your papitas, some whatever green delicious, either cilantro oil or like wild garlic or something. We make an oil. That's it. The short rib cooked for 24-hour seasoning, and then you can cook it with a spoon. So it's like our cuisine, but on my own way, but
Hmm.
mindful of the Coachella kids needing a sancocho because they're hungover.
So when you started, like I think the idea was more like just all of Latin America, right? Like it was
Oh my
just
God.
like the store. It was just going to reflect everything, and but
Nicola,
you
I
put
was lost.
yeah. It's like, how do you do that? It's impossible. Like,
Yeah.
It's impossible.
yeah,
Because at the beginning I was, okay, we have the cafe, we have some
yeah.
pastries, blah blah blah, some drinks, and we like, and then let's be a collaborative space, so have different chefs of
Hmm.
Latin American that were aircraft, blah, blah, blah. And then I went to Colombia, and then my friend Ariel, that I love him so much, my samurai, he came from Japan like a couple months here, waiting for his visa, and he stayed 3 months, and he helped me to build El Patio. Um, I left to Colombia to spend Christmas for my family after I don't know how many years. I think that was the first Christmas that I spent with my family since I left Colombia 13 years ago. And then because Ariel was there, I just let him stay at the restaurant. So we were like kind of like on a soft opening. We were like trying to figure things out. To tell you the truth, I wasn't in a good place of my head. I was dealing with a lot of stuff. Um, and then when I came back from Colombia, Ariel was like, Steph, what the fuck? I mean, La Tropi works. What you do works. Why are you trying to do something different?
Yeah.
You have to do what you do." And I was like, you know what, Ariel? I was just thinking exactly the same thing. We changed, we painted El Patio, pink. I change everything. I mean, I'm so extreme. I mean, if something made me uncomfortable, I will burn it and change it, and I will rebuild it. So in 2 weeks, we rebuilt it, and then I was like, I just gonna cook whatever I feel like until it sells. And if it's good, we remake it. If no, 86. And then let's experiment with
Hmm.
different things. And that's how I ended up calling my restaurant Caribbean, because you can eat a costilla cancan from Puerto Rico, because I go to los cookies next door. That's the way that I call matronas or matrones,
Hmm.
las cookies or cookies. I mean, if I call you cookie one time, it's because I really respect you. I don't call
Okay.
cookie anybody.
All
So,
right.
for example, I ask,
I'll wait my.
yeah, that's my. I asked Nicholas, "How's your cookie?
Yeah.
Is cookie doing fine? Whatever, you know what I mean." So, um, and then I was trying to understand. Also, Pablo is Puerto Rican. I mean, even though that he's really Spanish in heritage, he was born in Puerto Rico.
I
He
thought
has
he was Ohioan.
I mean, Pablo is a citizen of the world. Pablo is the globalization. Is like me, from all the place. He grew up in Ohio, but he was born in Puerto Rico, so half of his family is in Puerto Rico. So that was the first time that I understand that I was a
Mhm.
Caribbean being coming to Pablo's family in Puerto Rico. Say like, I feel in Barranquilla. What are you talking about? What is the difference between that and then going to the different Caribbean islands? So, like, I was also introduced to this cuisine in the way that they celebrate and different. So for me, it's really important to be kind of inclusive. And
Mhm.
it's not like I'm gonna make a Dominican dish. I mean, why? I haven't had the experience, but
Yeah.
having like half Puerto Rican family, we have in our menu pastelón, we have chuleta cancan. So I've been experimenting with different things and also understanding that we are in the Sures and our community is Puerto Rican. I need to practice. And when they
Hmm.
came to buy my pastelones, that made me so happy.
So tell me about chuleta cancan, because I went to Puerto Rico. I don't know. This was like 15 years ago, and I was writing something, and I went to the place that like invented it or whatever. Chuleta cancan. It was this like giant fried pork chop, and it was
Chuleta
amazing.
cancan
But I
is
never heard of it ever again until I saw it on your menu.
Puerto Rico is not amazing. So la chuleta cancan is my uncle Javier Bonin favorite dish, and I remember him taking me to have it. The magic about that dish is you can start it, you never end it, and it's basically a pork tomahawk because it have part of the belly,
Hmm.
the chicharrón, and also have the pork chop. So and then I was like a chicharrón, a chicharrón. I should have a chicharrón in the menu. Chicharrón is
Hmm.
very important. We eat a lot of chicharrón. I said, why should I make a chicharrón if I can make a chuleta cancan?
Yeah.
This is even better. So, I mean, obviously, we are like brining the chuleta cancan, let it dry, and then do
Hmm.
like a shallow frying. And it's called cancan because when you bite it, it's so crunchy that it sounds can 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 can.
Oh, is
Or
that
there
why
is
it's
yeah, that's
that's
one
why it's
thing.
called cancan? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
and also because it's also sound like the shoes of the can can dance, like a ta 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 ta.
Okay. Okay.
So as many different things, people have different theories of how things are called, but
Okay. So when you but so the menu, it's still Spanish Caribbean though, right? Like you're not like gonna put a Jamaican dish on there or something, or I don't know,
maybe.
maybe.
I mean, at the end
Okay.
of the day, I don't like labels
Yeah.
because as a woman that I was born in the Colombian Caribbean from a paisa household, living in New York City, married with a Spaniard man that also have half of his family in Puerto Rico, I'm the result of everything. So if one time I have like this encounter of the first degree with a beautiful Jamaican person, and this person introduced me to how to make a delicious, which I really want, and I'm manifesting that, this oxtail in the Jamaican style, I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't tell you. Maybe one time you will find
Okay.
that on my menu on an empanada of that or certain way. I mean, I'm
Okay.
open to creativity, but for me, the really important thing is not just play to know things. I need to be introduced to the concept.
Hmm.
I need to understand the cultural background of the
Yeah.
dish, and I need to connect to it in order for me to do my own interpretation of it. I mean,
Okay.
at least me. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
right
No.
way
No.
to
And
do it.
I think that that's smart because I think you do the legwork. You do the like research. Like as long as I've known you, you have been, you know, traveling to Guajira and all these places and actually spending time with these cooks, not just popping in and having a dinner, but getting to know how they do things and understanding it, and creating that sense of.
I mean, for me, food is a vehicle.
Mhm.
I mean, if you ask me, more than anything else, I like people. I mean, not all the people, but I like people. I mean, I like people in their broader sense, with challenges or no challenges. I mean, for me, more than anything, to understand. I mean, food tells you so much about people. They tell you about their religion. They tell you about their social structures, their landscape, where they came from. The Something like me, I told you about my background, so my food is the result of that. So that's why it's really hard to talk about being purist in the kitchen or in
Mhm.
cooking, because at the end of the day, food is an evolving, keep evolving, and you can see that in places like Malaysia, Singapore, etc. Um, so at the end of the day, New York also is part of that. I mean, you can go to La Caridad and have like a Cuban Chinese menu, and there is a huge Chinese diaspora in the Caribbean, and part
Mhm.
of our food is a result of that. Same like a place like a Barranquilla, Colombia. Our traditional food is gonna be like a menu from Lebanon, Syria, or Palestine, because we have a huge diaspora of them. And then you go to places like Lorica, Cordoba, and you will find in the same mesa de fritos a kibbe, in the same importance of like a caribañola or like a
Mhm.
arepa de huevo. So like that's one of the things where I, at the end of the day, when I started Colombian, and I've been living a transition of understanding my identity through food as well, and understanding that I'm in New York and questioning why I'm making arroz de camarón seco from La Guajira, and I'm sourcing in New York City from a Thai place. That's what
Mhm.
the reason that it put me in a situation where I want to go to Southeast Asia, because being in New York, I'm sourcing ingredients from preparations that I learned back in Colombia, but I'm sourcing them from all over the world. So what's happening right there, what's
Mhm.
happening there, that they have kind of like the same thing.
How do you interact with Miguel in the kitchen? Because you both cook, right?
Miguel is not a cook.
Oh, okay.
Miguel is Miguel. A year ago, he was selling aircraft from Latin America. 2 years ago, he was selling cilantro in Texas. So
Oh.
Mileni is the most beautiful chameleonic person that adapts to so many different situations like me. I call him my work wife, which is amazing because Miguel let me be masculine, and that's part of my duality. I'm feminine and masculine. So with Miguel, I can be really masculine sometimes. So it's a really good interaction in the kitchen. Miguel is my second hand. He's like actually he's just new in the industry,
Mm.
and now he's our barista. He
Mm.
helps me, he cooks. So one of the reasons that I knew that he was a good fit for this project, because like I made a mistake in the past where I tried to involve somebody for experience, and this is not about experience. This is about willingness, charisma, and the openness, to interact. I mean, at the end of the day, you can bring your plating tongues and your production sheets and stuff like that. I already know how to do that. I'm looking in a partner, somebody that I also have the charisma, understand what we're trying to do, the sense of community, which is really, really important. So then the other practicalities and technicisms, I can teach it. Or also you can learn on Gronda, YouTube, a stage in our place, and also in places like masterclass. So now we have so many resources. At the end of the day, what I was looking in a partner is more about personality, willingness, and connection with people, and especially with me. So, so yeah, we're a great team because when I'm doing something, immediately he's watching me, and he's doing. Sometimes it's tough because I mean, if you go to my kitchen, it looks like a patio, but my kitchen is as clean as a Michelin star, and that's the way that we do it. You know what I mean? Every day we spend almost 2 hours on cleaning every day, and that and I 1 hour 30 minutes, and then we do deep cleaning Sundays. You know, because we have an open kitchen, and that's the way that I like to work. And my team needs to understand that we need, even though that we're informal, we need to perform with levels of excellence. That at the end of the day, working in a clean environment is really important. So it's like teaching somebody that never worked in a kitchen before and to operate in these
Mhm.
standards can be challenging. But I mean, the cure of learning of Miguel is more steady than many people that I know with more experience.
So charisma is very important,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like for you, like I mean, it's like I mean, you have this whole persona, like in is it, do you consider it a character ever?
No, because I'm not performing. I mean, you.
I don't think you are either, but is some of it sometimes like because you always say you have a lot of anxiety.
Hmm.
At least you tell me that. Like, and I don't think you hide it or anything. So I hope I'm not like okay. But you say you have a lot of anxiety. Is like the character a way to overcome that anxiety? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this extension of yourself that's like fearless and anti-anxiety? Does it come out like when you're in the kitchen and you become this, other not other person because it's still you, but like this elevated version of yourself, maybe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think that life humbles you and it gives you a challenge where as soon, I mean, maturity at the end of the day is about like controlling your reactions, especially a person like me,
Mm-hmm.
and controlling your anxiety and not reacting. I think that that's because at the end of the day, when you have anxiety, it's like this feeling
Yeah,
that everybody, I mean, I live in fucking New York City. I mean,
yeah,
we are in the middle of like we don't know if the war is a start, we don't know anything. So every single person in the world must feeling certain level of anxiety, and you learn to cope with your anxiety. And I think that at the end of the day, when you've been learning so much and you have experienced so many things in life, in your personal, professional, in so many different
mm-hmm.
aspects of it, you use that strength because that's energy at the end of the day that you are feeling, and you transition that energy to perform or produce. You don't let
Yeah,
that to consume you because like 2 days ago we have this festival and we have all these people coming and everything, and I have a megaphone and then wearing this captain
yeah,
hat.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
I literally wear like a captain
yeah,
hat.
yeah,
It was your food is come here right now. Bring the place. You got the food. You have to. How long? And then using my anxiety as
yeah,
a energy stream,
yeah.
then I collapse.
Yeah. Okay. No, because like, because on a personal level, like I know you, we're friends, and you're often pretty introverted, like me. But then like you give you a microphone, and like you like explode into this like persona, and it's like you take on the challenge and you just like channel all this energy in a way I could absolutely never do. And it's like you're fucking like dancing and shaking your booty and stuff like in front of people in the kitchen, and it's just like all the time, and it's like all
Not
this
shaking
like
the booty,
wild Caribbean energy and
decolonizing the booty.
decolonize. Okay,
Oh yeah.
that's all right, all right, all right. Yeah, but it's like I think it is a way to overcome anxiety, and like you do it in a very I think it's a healthy way.
I mean, you have to find your ways. A friend of mine always said that you do what you have to do with what you have. American said, if life send you lemonades, lemons make lemonade. So it's like either I mean, obviously it's tough, it's like the biggest challenge for every human being is to control your own mind. We are transitioning, we'll evolve into monkeys to conscious beings, and that's part of the human experience, to understand, what surrounds you, what you lack, what you need, and that's part of it. Like all my training in this career has been operating in different way. When I have collaborated with Michelin star chef, they don't say how the fuck you do it. How can you thrive in chaos?
Mhm.
The pop-up is thrive in chaos. Now that I have a restaurant or like a kitchen, now I have my production. Ta 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 ta. In the pop-up is a different thing because you are trying to to confront yourself to a new space, new
Hmm.
customers, new people, new
Yeah.
menu, and do everything. It's like opening a restaurant every time.
Yeah.
And now I'm so grateful to the pop-up, because now I mean, my food costs always on point.
Yeah.
We don't waste anything, because I have to learn in a harder way for so
Hmm.
many years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I mean, like hugging your anxiety is really important, because at the end of the day is energy,
Yeah.
and energy, the only thing that you can do with it is just transform it. So it's how can you transform something that can be really challenging in something good. But I'm no I mean I also, it's really important to don't fantasize that and not romanticize that, because
Hmm.
it's really exhausting. It's really exhausting. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm who I am, but you are performing, not necessarily because you are becoming somebody else. It's just like
Yeah.
like it's been I the feeling is the same, where an animal have to run for his life, like you get really warm. Yeah, and that's how you feel it in your body.
That's what you equate like cooking to an animal running
Animals
for his
surviving
life.
for his life, like running, like what.
Right. Yeah.
I feel the same thing on my body, and then you
Yeah.
collapse, and then it's a whole day that you can even. Mondays for me is just like,
What
because
do you
it's
do?
just, huh?
What do you do on Mondays?
Mondays, what I do, usually I sleep in, and then I treat myself to watch a movie on bed. I
Okay.
mean, that's a luxury that, like, just wake up in the morning and just play a stupid movie or something, or I watch a show. And then okay, Mondays, I buy records. I'm a record collector. That's something about me
Okay.
that I keep for myself. I collect records. I go to a park. I try to spend some time with my dogs. I try to hang out with friends that they also work in the industry, and to explore a different restaurant, or more than a restaurant, to go to an ethnic neighborhood and get lost and try something different. And sometimes things are not that good. Sometimes they're amazing.
Mhm.
And I try to relax and also keep working, try to figure it out, what I'm gonna cook the next week, what we have. It's like even though that I have a chiller day, there is not a day that I'm not working. So it's kind of like, even though that I want to put my situation in no work, you always working.
Mhm.
Stephanie, when I interviewed you from a podcast I had in Spanish during the pandemic, do you remember?
Uh-huh.
You were
With,
very
Clau-
focused. Sorry?
with Claudia.
Yes, exactly. So you were very focused on these amazing cooks, women in Colombia, and
Mhm.
mentors, and just friends of you. And I know you keep having that conversation with them. Yeah, you will always have it, of course, because of what you just said. You want to be Toñita, not, and those are your people to look at, right, and to learn from. How is that conversation going on with them now when you go to wherever you go, Colombia or somewhere else? Because you have changed. Is the conversation different, or how do you feel about that?
Now I understand. At the end of the day, these people also run business and own business, and they have the same challenge,
Yeah,
and even though that sometimes, one of the things that I love about social media is that all of them have social media.
yeah,
And, sometimes the conversation doesn't become that. It's no, because you also, there is, you grow apart of some people, but not necessarily grow apart. Sometimes, life changes. Now I have
yeah,
responsibilities, but the magic about social media is like,
yeah.
le
You can
pusiste
follow their work. Yeah.
nació tu nieta, y cómo se llama. Entonces siempre como que the social media is a beautiful tool to keep connected to so many different people all over the world, even people that I met in Southeast Asia. I can see them, and it's so beautiful, because at the end of the day, one of the beautiful things, an observation that I've been having, I've been living this process, and I also see the same process in the people that I
Mhm. Yeah.
knowing for so long. It's
And
just like,
in a way, your business is similar to their business in the
oh,
way it
absolutely,
operates, which is very cool.
absolutely,
Just that
absolutely.
imperfect, but
yeah, when you see them that they doing, for example, Claudia, her daughter just graduated for college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you get to know her, she was trying to figure out how to send her daughter to college. I mean, as every single parent in Colombia,
Yeah.
when you have a kid, you have to figure out how to send you, and everywhere of the world. I mean, and to see them to accomplish that, to see that the festival is still working, to see that they now have beautiful uniforms,
Mm.
to see that they're being actually, one of the things that I have seen lately is that the festivals around Colombia has been more inclusive to people that carry tradition. So that
Mm.
makes me really happy, because at the end of the day, people always say, oh, the Colombian traditional cuisine, but these spaces were super exclusive for like known chef. And for me, it makes me really happy that at least, the festivals are having like more interest, to involve, besides the spaces where they come and sell their food and have them kind of like a showcase, and bringing the opportunity for them to also being part of the conversations, being
Mm.
part of the I haven't been invited in a festival in a long, long time. But I seen through Nicolas when he travels, and that makes me really, really happy as well, that things are changing in that direction. Because as a person that feels that I own a lot of my, not necessarily my knowledge in the kitchen, but also my character in the kitchen. And I feel that carriers of tradition have so much to teach. And that makes me really, really excited. So, like, I won't lie to you, with Chori Agames, she's my family. We talk at
Mm.
least like very often, and then one of the things, she was really disappointed when I dyed my hair.
Oh yeah, why?
Mm.
¿Por qué se hizo eso? Why, Rebecca? ¿Por qué se hizo eso? Se dañó el pelo. And the way that she talks, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
the fact that she calls me to bitch me about my hair makes me
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
because it
Yeah.
means she cares about me. And it feels really, really nice when you have people that, because at the end of the day, you can go and interact with a person and they can teach you stuff and that's it. But when you build like real connection and a real familiarity, that's what's really, really important. Because as I said before, more than food, I'm more interested in the human behind it. And even here in New York, I'm like, I getting to know this woman from Haiti.
Mm.
That's another story. That's another levels of density and
Mhm.
challenge and hustle and survival.
Energy. Yeah.
And then when you get to the point where they want to share in the personal level, is when it's beautiful, because you are knowing different food ways and life ways through other people. And
Mm.
that's why I feel diversity is really important, and the word is lacking. And besides empathy, is to understand there are so many different ways of living, and people live in
Well, you
different.
said you said you don't have too many female friends. I don't agree with that. I think you do.
I mean, my female friends usually are people that are triple my age.
Matter.
Those, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, me as a woman, that I don't have that many female friends as other females. Like, if I have four friends that are, I don't know, probably my life has changed in the fact that before I was surrounded by so many people. Now I become a little bit more like conscious about who I invest my energy. And I think that doesn't mean that I am not civil and I know like open, and I know keep being that person that is really generous and warm to everyone. But I'm really more like protective of my circle and my energy, and who I interact, who I share my personal experience, who I share my vulnerability. I think that that's the
Well,
word.
I say these women are as feminine wise as you could imagine. So I think you have great female friends.
Yeah, but the people that I hang out to have fun are most likely men. I have female friends, but I don't hang out with women that much. Like, I rather to go to see with one of my male friends in their couch, smoke a joint, and talk about the bird, or going to eat. Like, that's one of the things that I realized, that I get
But you
along
don't.
better, even to
There's
play soccer, stuff like that.
there's no female friend that will do that with you. Smoke a joint and hang out.
La Miguelona.
Who
Miguel
is
is the
the Miguelona?
Well, like, let me, yeah.
That's his character? Or?
No,
No.
that's, I mean, he used to call himself like
Oh,
Miguel,
Miguel, you mean?
No.
Miguelito. He said, no, Miguelito, you are not Miguelito, you are La Miguelona, you are super loud and everything. I mean, like, the closest female friend will be La Miguelona right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
and you see that I have great female friends. I have, and I'm proud of my friends. Or one of my best friends, I mean, the amazing, beautiful singer of Bomba Estéreo, Lisa Ume. I look after that woman. She's a source of energy, creativity, beauty. I mean, this is one of my closest friends, my friend Carol Solis, and a beautiful activism. Like, she's back there, you know what I mean? My other friend Catalina Ruiz in Mexico. You know, I have really beautiful, strong female friends. But
Hmm.
when I decide to hang out, I always hang out with men. But you know, these people that I mentioned in you, they don't live in New York.
Might be the US. Same happens to me here in LA.
Yeah, they don't live in New York, but when they came, I mean, probably we wouldn't be that friends if we live so close. I mean, because we were strong women, and
Yeah.
strong woman. I mean, it's tough, and that's it. And probably I don't know. Maybe hanging out with friends because I'm trying to explore my masculinity. You know, I sometimes I don't know. I like to play. I like to play sport. I play sports, like, you know what I mean. Sometimes my own husband gets a really easy. I would like you to be a little bit more soft. Like, I just sometimes I feel like a dude and everything. So it's come on. I don't know. I don't know. I feel. I mean, I feel really vulnerable talking about this right now.
do, do you like
But
beats?
that's another different podcast.
Huh? Say
Do you
again.
beat Pablo like playing sports? Is that why he gets upset?
No, Pablo is taller, stronger.
No, okay.
Like, you know, like, sometimes we play soccer together. Uh, but we try to start a Brazilian jiu-jitsu together. But right now with the restaurant, it's really hard. We have the geese and everything.
Hmm.
It feels really empowering when I can just pull him out on the floor, whatever. But I mean, right now the only commitment that I have with fitness is Pilates, and I'm really sick about it. And it's really really important because one of the things that I realize is that in this career we don't take care of our bodies, and one of the reasons that I started on Pilates is because I really want to have a good posture, and it makes me really really happy. So eventually when I have more time I would like to explore different other things, and that's my more female thing. And the good thing about Pilates is that you just go there, you breathe, and that's it. You don't have to play with other people.
So you're flying to Colombia tonight
Yes,
to Barranquilla or what?
I'm going to have a crazy layover, but I'm going to Santa Marta. I'm going to a wedding, and I'm gonna do scuba diving Friday.
In
What's
Santa Marta.
happening with restaurants in Santa Marta? I always have, it's never clear to me how Santa Marta behaves in terms of food. I mean, there is obviously traditional food, but the restaurant scene seems to be kind of blurred in comparison with Cartagena or Barranquilla. How would you describe it for people that haven't been or that have been?
I at this point I think that I have the same knowledge than you about that matter. I mean, when I go to Santa Marta, I always go donde Chucho a comerme mi cóctel de
Yeah,
camarón con rayón
yeah,
más,
yeah. Okay.
my spectacular arepa that we have an adaptation of that right now in Patio Tropical donde Guilla.
Mm-hmm.
To go close to, I can't remember where to have my arepa de huevo with, you know what I mean. So it's kind of like my own preference.
Classics. Yeah.
To Taganga to have this beautiful sapote juice that is more like a milkshake,
Mm.
and also there is a Wasimo there that I have a beautiful restaurant that I think that he's doing a great job over there. Um, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I think that people that are go to do tourism in Santa Marta are looking for things different. I
Yeah.
mean, usually,
Probably.
like they go more to Sierra Nevada and and,
Mhm.
and go to those areas. So obviously, I think that that's a huge opportunity, and I think that Cartagena is not what it was in the past. I mean, you guys are the journalists here, so probably you should educate me more about that, because you are like putting, I mean, I'm talking from a person that actually like enjoys food, and my mom is from Ciénaga Magdalena, which is like pretty close. So every time that I go to that area, is most likely to go to people's houses. I always say
Mhm.
it. The best food that you have in the Colombian Caribbean is in people's houses. Absolutely. The
Mhm.
best thing that can happen to you is somebody invite you to their house to eat. And I think that specifically that in Santa Marta. So
Have you been, Nick?
Santa Marta? Yeah, I mean, I went like 20 years ago and I stayed a few
Mm.
days, like, no, more than that. Yeah, 20 years ago, 2005.
Mhm.
But I went hiking to Ciudad Perdida.
Mm.
So I was there like a day or two before and after.
Yeah.
But then I went back for the first time like a couple of years ago, but it was just like for a few hours, like on the way to Guajira.
yeah, Guajira.
Yeah,
Oh my-
it
Yeah.
seems to be a city in which people stop for a couple of nights before going to Palomino or Sierra Nevada or La Guajira, and then maybe it stays in this,
And I think that
place.
it's a coming. It's a
Uh,
family-owned property in El Rodadero, and the way that I was, I mean, at the beginning, Rodadero was the place where you go, you rent an apartment, the hotels were there,
yeah.
they were different. Like it was more like a curated to, but it's really important to think about it.
Mm.
Hmm.
Colombia is been having a revival because our tourists was like national tourists. Like
Yeah.
right now, people are trusting to
I
go to.
know everyone is going there,
Yeah,
especially to Medellin.
exactly. So there's like cities that are more like, and also that happens to me at the restaurant where
Mm.
clients say, "Oh, I've been to Colombia. Yeah, I've been to Cartagena. Oh, I went to Bogota a couple days and then Medellin."
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't understand why people doesn't go to El Nariño, for example. Like
Or the
if
coffee region, or so
well,
many.
people go to the coffee region, but I think like El Nariño, Pacific, Amazon, and Andes. So it's a beautiful place where you can know about Colombian diversity. If you want to do that kind of tourism, that
Mm.
would be for me. If you ask me, I completely understand that they have our own challenge, with safety and things that the country is overcoming, and I feel that are really positive. We were in a war for many years, and I think that when trauma happens in any capacity, and we're talking about like a national trauma, the first thing is to gain trust. That's the first step to overcome your trauma. So I think
Yeah.
that Colombia is in a good moment, and I can see Santa Marta blooming really fast, because I mean, being in a place where you also have the beach, you can take a boat, and 30
Hmm.
minutes we're in Parque Tayrona, a place like Taganga. I mean, I love Taganga, and
Yeah. I stayed in Taganga a couple days
Mm.
too, like a
yeah,
lot
and that's
years
where I
ago,
go
and
when I
it was
go
amazing.
diving.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very touristic now, crowded.
Oh yeah, Taganga. Wow.
It is, yeah, it was not, but now it is.
Yeah. So I mean, to answer your question, I think that it's just a matter of time. It's
Mm.
just a matter of time. I know, for example, there is many. Santa Marta attracts a lot of like foreign people.
Mm.
Uh, and then I mean, it's just a matter of time that European or trained chefs see the
Hmm.
opportunity. And I mean, if I tell you the truth, if I one day I come back to Colombia, that will be the place that I will go.
Santa
The
Marta.
Santa
Yeah.
weather
Marta.
is amazing there. So
Yeah,
pleasant.
I mean, speaking about product, you have the Caribbean Sea just right
Hmm.
there. You have a community of fishermen 20 minutes back there. You have Sierra Nevada, where it's a
Yeah.
mountain where as soon as you start
Yeah.
climbing, you start having from cacao to
Yeah.
coffee to different tropical fruits. You know what I mean? You have La Guajira 2 hours
Hmm.
away, where you can source good chivo if that's what you wanted to do. You have Cameron. So, I mean, as a chef, as a
Yeah.
Colombian, if one day it gets me that crisis, and I say, fuck it, I want to come back to my country. Beach shack in Santa Marta, no
Yeah.
brainer.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. Yeah. I could see it. I mean, there's flights, right? There's like an airport, major
Yeah, it's
airport.
airport in
Okay.
Santa Marta.
Direct flights from everywhere.
From like the US, right?
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. I mean, you see that Puerto Cartagena. I mean, it's just a matter of time. And actually, I like when people come to El Patio, they feel like they're in Santa Marta, and that makes
Yeah,
me really happy.
Cool.
yeah, it's cool. No, it's a little oasis in the back of
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
a gritty street.
And we are not trying to be pretentious, but at some point we ended up being a little bit pretentious subtly.
In what way?
I mean, you're eating an artisanal chorizo made by a Serbian butcher that it takes from
Yeah,
Colombia. For me, that's being pretentious. I don't need to put like a fucking microgreens on top of it for that thing to be pretentious.
Ambitious, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to fucking just put some fucking Goya, chorizo, like plop it on a plate.
no happening.
It's is it pretentious or is it trying to find a middle ground of I don't know.
I mean, I think that one time when I went to the Basque Culinary Center, they asked me, what is la vanguardia? And for me, and they asked me what was the most restaurante vanguardista. Y for me, sorry that I'm doing Spanglish, for me was, I said, I'm in the Basque region right now, Asador Echeverry. Why? Because, first of all, the guy is honoring his heritage. He's not doing anything pretentious and he's just focusing on the technique. And the fact that you can pull out of service with just like bass grills and everything can come perfect. For me, that's anything because at this point, I have a combi oven in my restaurant. In El Patio, we have Thermomix, combi oven, Ocus. We have all those tools. And those tools make everything easier. I mean, I can make a green oil just putting anything herb, 1.2%, 1.2 of oil, and any herb, 70 degrees, 5 minutes. I have a green oil. Thermomix does everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the real banger or the real like pretentiousness is when you can accomplish and do things that are not as simple as they seem. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
More than anything that you can see, that's the real challenge. So it's like that's why I thought that these guys doing things right, and we didn't want to be. I mean, you went to the restaurant, you eat eggs, arepa, and chorizo in my menu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
And
that's the same. It's like I didn't get
heirloom egg. I mean,
yeah.
it's something as simple. I'm not gonna give you just a regular egg. I mean, I'm gonna give you the best egg that I can
Yeah.
possibly source and taste good, and I'm gonna cook it perfectly. Even the fucking yolk is in the middle because I
Mm-hmm.
want you to dip that arepa inside that. That's what I want. You know what I mean? In the same thing, but you're eating egg, arepas, and chorizo. I don't need to. You know what I mean? Because that's what we want to do in El Patio. I want to be like conscious of who I am and what I want to serve, but I also want to elevate, not necessarily to recreate something new. It's just elevating in a way that you made the best possible, the best possible thing of something that is simple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even elevating. It's just making the best thing you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's pretentious. Like the pretentiousness comes with when you try to, I think, make it something that it's not, and like then you end up fucking dropping the chorizo in liquid nitrogen and then fucking freeze and then grating it over the fucking arepa or something. I don't know. And just adding all these gimmicks and embellishments just to seem cool and up the price. I didn't get a sense of any of that. No, I thought it was great.
Even our salad. Yeah, I mean, I always talk about the salad because in Colombia we don't eat greens. Our diet is full of carbs. I mean, just see the bandeja paisa or go to, I mean, no, forget about I didn't say that. Okay. No. Go to a restaurant where people, working class people eat their lunches. What you will find in the menu: rice, beans, arepa, maduro, carne, and then one piece of lettuce, one tomato, and some like grind carrots that are not even seasoned at all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have anything. That they do it more for decoration, right? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Yes. So, and if you are lucky enough, there is somebody selling an avocado, overpriced avocado, and then you add it to your menu if you have the extra box. So when we decided to make our salad, that is called La Salad, it's like dude, let's also bring something green, some fresh, and I always cross sell it in the menu. But let's source the most delicious greens that they can find, Norwich farm, Lannis farm, everything, and not just like a crunchy lettuce, radicchios, mustard greens, mizuna, whatever, herbs, you know, a beautiful heirloom tomato that I can't wait for the tomato season, a char avocado, and a panela dressing. That's the salad at my restaurant. So it's just like taking a concept that is pretty simple and understanding also where we are. And I mean, I don't know if that's pretentious. And also we do compressed radishes because I like the spiciness. But I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, for me, it's just like eat, cook the food that I would like to eat. That's just that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing pretentious about that. All right. Okay. Julie, anything else?
No, thank you. It's great to see you again after a while.
Yeah, a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, 5 years.
God, I'm so hot. I don't know how you're doing, Stephanie, but I'm so hot now. Like,
I also
it's like,
think you're hot. You're becoming really hot.
yeah, that's what it is.
We
No,
mature.
the thing is, it's like I turned the air conditioner off while I'm recording because I don't want the sound
Okay.
to make, but it's like it's turning into an oven in here. But yeah.
Yeah, no,
I'll
guys,
live.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much for inviting me and asking me questions. I think that in this podcast, I've been questioning myself. And also because I don't have a filter. So I talk about now I need to, after this, I need to question my masculinity. But whatever. Yeah, come to Patio Tropical to Bistro.
Yeah, I hope to go soon.
We're going to start making dinners very soon.
Yeah. So when does that
July
start?
19th.
When did the dinner start?
July 19th,
Okay,
we
cool.
starting to, because now I wanted to do I want to do like the most creative and the most like exciting things, and also, even though that we try to do like a warm hospitality, this is our opportunity to do one-to-one, to being able to do a lot of storytelling, and also to try to connect with a different level. I think that it's really nice to having a table of 10 people, completely strangers. I mean, in my pop-ups, there are many people that make friends and everything, so I'm really excited. And also, now that El Patio is running and we have a set menu and we already have like kind of our community that support us, it's really important for me to don't stop doing the things that make me feel creative and challenge. So starting July 19, we're gonna start having like I mean, we are not even promoting the menu. I mean, you just come. I mean, hopefully it works. We don't know if it's gonna work. We don't know if the cool kids of Williamsburg are gonna say, "Hey, there is a place that you can. It's hot." We don't know. So hopefully things works, because I wanted to make it work. I'm really excited about
Yeah,
that.
no, it'll be great. And regardless, the people that live on the street will
Hopefully
come.
we'll go together, Nick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. Please come. I mean, Nick knows that I always like to have him on my table.
well,
All
thank
right.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay, guys, be safe, and thank you so much
Say
again.
hi to Chori.
Ah, oh my God, she's disappointed.
Okay.